Aloha, this is Tim here for a video to talk about and discuss calling over 3G or LTE networks on the iPhone or iPad or whatever device it may be. So I wanted to just do some studies, do some testing to figure out what the cause is for the inability for FaceTime to work over 3G. So I did some testing here. I did 5-minute calls for FaceTime and Skype. I did both video and audio for both services. So with FaceTime, you can make a video call, but if you hit the home button on your iPad, you can actually go to your home screen, and what that does is it pauses the video signal from being sent to the device, both to and from. So it essentially becomes an audio call at that point. So I did some testing to figure out what kind of data is that's used in a 5-minute call, and from that 5-minute call, I narrowed it down to how much data is being sent per minute over 3G in Honolulu with good service. So this is with good service, and I did audio. Audio was being transmitted that whole time to test that, so I made sure there was signal going back and forth for this test. So my findings are as follows. In a 5-minute call over FaceTime 3G with video, a user uses 12.5 megabytes per minute, which equates down to 12.5 megabytes per 5-minute call, which equates down to 2.5 megabytes per minute. So that's that. That equates to 800 minutes over 2 gigabytes of data, or 1,200 minutes over 3 gigabytes of data, or 120 minutes over 300 megabytes of data. So those are the AT&T plans as of they are now. A lot of people have 2 gigabytes of data for $25. A lot have the new $30 3 gigabyte plan. So with that data, if you use all of that data, you can have as much as 1,200 minutes for a video call over FaceTime. That equates to plans that aren't even offered by AT&T. AT&T starts their plans at $450, then $900, then unlimited. So at 900 minutes, you pay $60 for 900 minutes. That equates to 1,200 minutes for 3 gigabytes of data, which you pay $30 for. So not only do you get more minutes for the money, you also pay half. So at $60, you get 900 minutes. At $30, you get 1,200 minutes, but you also get video and audio. So that's number one. That is not the amount of data being used is not substantial at all when you look at the figures here. Not at all. So moving from there is the concern of audio. So what if Apple just did FaceTime over audio? Which you can do, and this isn't even optimized for audio. I imagine Apple would love to do a talk time where it's just audio and it's optimized for that. This is not the case. This is just when you press a home button and it pauses everything. So in the 5-minute call, it will take you 7.73 megabytes of data to do that. That equates down to, when you do audio, 1.546 megabytes per minute, which equates to 1,293 minutes for 2 gigabytes of data. That is, as I said before, more than their highest offering for minutes. If you do the 3 gigabyte plan, you nearly get 2,000 minutes. You're at 1,940 minutes for 3 gigabytes of data. Even at the lowest end plan, you're nearing 200 minutes, which is, less than half of their lowest offering, but you still get a decent amount of minutes over data. So it's pretty clear here that by simply doing data services, either video or audio, either or, that's not affected, that it's going to be a better deal for your cash to do it that way. And this is my rationale for why AT&T and the cell phone carriers are afraid of offering the service. If we just do FaceTime, if we do talk time, if we do Skype, then there is no reason for their services for a phone company. It is all data at that point. because FaceTime, it's integrated process where you don't have to think about it. And if you could FaceTime, that's what people do all the time. So moving forward out of that, from Skype, you have a little bit different usage. Skype uses more data per video call. So Skype uses 17.45 megabytes per 5-minute call. That's 5 megs up from the FaceTime. But with that, you still get a nice amount of calls. So at 3.5 megabytes per minute, you get 571 minutes for 2 gigabytes of data and 857 minutes for 3 gigabytes of data. So you're still right around that top-end $60 plan for minutes there. When you move to audio, things get crazy good. Skype audio, a Skype to Skype audio call, 2.62 megabytes per 5-minute call, equating that down to 0.524 megabytes per minute, equates to 3,860 minutes for 2 gigabytes in over 5,000. So you get 5,725 minutes for 3G. So that's for 3 gigabytes of data. So that's nearly unlimited calling there over Skype. So data is not going to be a problem at all for Skype audio. And this is the kind of data that I would expect Apple to use if they actually did an official audio time, a talk time, whatever you want to call it. Also to mention, you get 572 minutes for 300 megabytes of data. So you get more than AT&T's lowest plan at $40 for that $20 data plan. So impressive numbers here. So AT&T offers the following plans: 450 megabytes or 450 minutes for $40, 900 minutes for $60, unlimited for $70. I ran these tests using an iPad that was jailbroken that could do all this over 3G, using an app called Data Counter, which counts the data in a time you set, so I was able to do accurate measurements on how much data we are actually using over these 3G networks. So I hope these numbers kind of open your eyes that the reason isn't because of the amount of data. The reason isn't because of that. The reason is the carriers are afraid that, one, their data networks might get overused, as they probably already are, and two, that we might realize we don't need their services, their expensive $40 minimum services for talk, for voice. It's antiquated, and we are beyond that. So that is my look at LTE calling, but this is 3G. I imagine we need to use more data over LTE, and I'll do a test on that if I get a chance to. But with just 3G calling, we have plenty of data to go around, even with these caps, to do all of our communications over FaceTime 3G. So this is me, Tim Chatton, giving Apple a call and the carriers a call to open it up. Let us use our FaceTime however we want. There is plenty of data to do this. Open it up, free us from this Wi-Fi restriction. This is just my and with me signing off from that. You can check out my daily Apple News podcast over at iWakePodcast.com. Thanks for watching. Aloha.